It doesn't end with a victory, no flag raised, no clear surrender, no moment where one side finally says, "It's over." Because this war was never built to produce a winner. It was built to expose control, and right now, control is slipping, not dramatically, not all at once, but quietly, systematically, in ways most people don't even notice. At the beginning, everything looked predictable: overwhelming force, precision strikes, clear targets, a strategy built on speed and dominance. It created the illusion of control, that this could be managed, contained, directed toward a clear outcome. But wars don't follow plans, they follow pressure. And pressure reveals what systems can actually handle. That's where things started to change, because despite the scale of the attack, the system didn't collapse. Iran absorbed it, adjusted, continued, and that single fact broke the illusion. Because once a system survives what was supposed to break it, control starts to weaken, not because power disappears, but because certainty does. And certainty is what control depends on. Now every decision becomes harder, escalate further, and risk something bigger, step back, and risk losing momentum, hold position, and risk stagnation. There is no clean move anymore, only trade-offs, and trade-offs are the beginning of losing control. Look at how the war is evolving. It's no longer linear. It's not moving toward a clear endpoint. It's expanding, shifting, touching multiple systems at once: military, economic, political, psychological. And when a conflict spreads across systems, no single actor controls all of them. That's the problem, because control requires focus, clarity, defined boundaries. But this war has none of those. It's fluid, unpredictable, constantly adapting, and adaptation reduces control. Because every time the situation changes, you're reacting, not directing. Now look at the United States. At the beginning, it held the clearest position: military dominance, strategic coordination, global influence. But as the war stretched, that position became harder to maintain, because the US isn't just managing one conflict, it's managing a global system, energy markets reacting, allies watching, other regions demanding attention. Every move has consequences beyond the battlefield, and that limits options, because you can't push too far without destabilizing something else. That's where control starts to slip, not because of weakness, but because of complexity. Now look at Israel, still pushing, still applying pressure, still trying to force an outcome. But the longer that continues, the more it stretches: more operations, more exposure, more dependence on sustained momentum. And sustained momentum is fragile, because it requires everything to keep working: resources, support, alignment. And when any of those weaken, momentum slows. And when momentum slows, control weakens, because pressure only works if it never stops. Now look at Iran. On the surface, it looks like the side under pressure, and it is. Damage, strain, loss. But underneath, it's doing something critical. It's enduring. Because endurance shifts the battlefield. It turns time into a weapon. It turns cost into leverage. And most importantly, it forces the other side to keep going, to keep spending, to keep deciding. That's where control flips. Because the side that has to keep acting is the side carrying the burden, and burden erodes control over time. Now zoom out. What do you actually see? Not a war being won, but a system becoming harder to manage. Every action creates new consequences. Every decision introduces new risks. Every move reduces certainty. And reduced certainty is reduced control. Because control isn't about power alone, it's about predictability, knowing what happens next, knowing how the system responds, knowing where things are going. And right now, no one fully knows. That's the shift. From controlled conflict to uncontrolled evolution. And in that kind of environment, the strongest side isn't always the one that wins. It's the one that loses control last. Because this war isn't ending with dominance, it's ending with exhaustion, with systems stretched to their limits, with strategies forced to adapt, with outcomes that don't look like victories, but consequences. And that's why this war feels different, because there's no clear path forward, only paths that become more complex over time, more expensive, more uncertain, more difficult to control. So when you ask, who's winning? You're asking the wrong question, because no one is. The real question is, who is losing control? And right now, that answer is still unfolding, not obvious, not immediate, but happening quietly across systems, across decisions, across time. Because control doesn't disappear overnight, it fades, until one day, it's gone. And by then, the outcome isn't decided by strength, it's decided by who adapted. Before control slipped away completely. If this changed your perspective, subscribe. Because the next video might change your life.